Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for a special edition of the Jenallee Show. I'm Jeni Long.
And I'm Sallee Clark.
And we are
Jenallee.
That was pretty good right there.
I know, that's the best it's been the whole time.
Well, we are super excited about our show tonight. So we have some special guests. You'll find out who they are right after this.
I was trying to go again. 2 rounds.
There they are. So we have with us tonight our mothers in honor of Mother's Day. So we were thinking it would be really, really special to bring our moms on because we attribute everything we are and who we are and what we do to them. So we wanted to have a special Mother's Day edition, and it's kind of interesting because they're both educators. So ironic, I know, but we wanted them to be able to share and just kind of have a little chat time with them this evening. So
all right,
we're going to get started.
You got it. So we want to introduce our moms to you. This is my mom. Her name is Connie Lott.
Hi.
And Mom, you want to share a little bit about yourself?
Well, yes, I'm a retired educator of 38 years in the education system in Texas. I'm a grandmother of 2 wonderful children, Hunter and our newborn, Bree. We live here in Fort Worth, Texas, and we are just enjoying life every single day. I enjoy watching my children, my 2 daughters, and all their excitement in what they do each and every day, and just enjoy being here.
Well, thank you. That's awesome. And our next guest, my mom, is Colleen Peschel. So we'll let Colleen tell a little bit about herself.
Well, hi, I'm Colleen Peschel, and I'm the proud mother of Jeni Long. I taught in Rockwall, Texas for 39 years, taught 3 years special ed and regular ed, the other 27, and I've taught kindergarten through first. I'm a proud grandmother of 8 grandchildren.
Yay!
4 boys and 4 girls. My husband and I are celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary this summer. And I just love what I do, and I just love my family, and I'm very proud of what Jeni and Sallee are doing. And it's very nice to be here today. And happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to you too, Colleen. We were laughing before the show because my mom came in and she, go ahead, I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, so Colleen, and my name is Connie, and so in honor of our daughters, which, we love so much and we watch all the time, which is Jenallee, we decided that Colleen and Connie could be Colleenie. And so you will be hearing from us, I know, many times as they need us to come back and visit with you.
Yes, I think so.
So Colleenie, here you go.
Oh, Miss Thompson.
Yay. Miss Thompson, we love you.
Yes.
Oh, that was Sallee's teacher in high school.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I love you.
My technology teacher. So
Oh.
a lot of this is attributed to her. So thank you, Billy.
Student council president. Yeah.
The gushing will begin.
I love it.
All right. So we wanted to bring our moms on because the best educators and the best teachers we can think of are our moms. And we love being educators and we love being in education. And Jeni and I frequently will talk about how much our moms have influenced us and shared their passions with us. So we thought it would be great if we brought them on to share with you. So let's see here. The first question we have, are you ready, ladies?
Yes.
All right.
You ready?
All right. Number 1, Colleen kind of answered it a little bit, but what is your teaching experience?
You going to ask me first or your mom?
Go for it, Colleen. We'll let you go first.
I think I already answered it because I feel so old because I've taught for yeah, I guess it is. I've taught 3 years special ed and 26 regular ed, so that's 29 years. And I love it. I've taught from kindergarten through the 5th grade, and I've taught the last 16 years in K K4 and K5. And I just love doing it because I do hands-on. I sing and dance a lot when I teach. So I think that's probably why I keep in shape, because I'm moving around a lot with those little kiddos. And I just love teaching rhythm and rhyme while I'm doing it. And I just enjoy all the teaching years that I've done, and I'm not ready to retire yet.
That can be the show, the Colleen Sing and Dance Show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would
She
really
likes, yeah, she likes to sing and dance
I
too.
do. Yes.
All right, Mom, you want to share?
Yeah, well, I was in education for 38 years. I taught 18 years, and then I was an administrator for 20. I've taught first grade and second grade. I taught special education.
Wow.
Also, I have my supervisor certification for special education, and I think that's just really in my heart is special ed. I also coordinated the first Gifted and Talented program back in 1985. I'm dating myself now, when it became Texas law. And so I did that for Grand Saline ISD. And then I kind of got into it then and wanted to learn more about curriculum and always had the love of learning. So I went back to school and got my master's in education, and then got my mid-management, and then I was a curriculum director for K-12 in Grand Saline, then became a principal, an elementary principal in Grand Saline, and then also I was at Huntsville ISD at Huntsville Elementary, and then left there and finished up my years at Brockett Elementary in Aubrey, Texas, where I just dearly loved doing and being a principal and seeing all the excitement that would happen in the building. We finished that year being the National School of Character and a Texas School of Character, which I really felt like that was just one of the pinnacles, and we got to go to Washington, D.C. and spotlight our school there because I think character is one of the greatest things you can do for children, and along with their education.
That's something we say a lot about both Colleen and Connie, because Jeni and I talk about it, how both of them really love their kids, and you can see it in everything that they do, and in the way they talk about their kids, and so we love that, and hope that we do the same thing when we are, sharing our experiences.
We have a couple of comments here. Billy Thompson even said she forgot to say that she taught at Boswell for 14 years. So that's awesome.
I'm trying to get her to move back over here to Saginaw. So I'm like, come on, Billy, come back.
Yeah.
Come see us.
And Tina Malajic.
Yeah, Tina was on
She
there.
was my counselor
Yeah.
at Brockett Elementary, and she was very instrumental in getting us the Texas School of Character and also our national. We worked very close together. Just a great team over there. Just wonderful people. It was just a pinnacle of my life.
That's great. And of course, Peyton had to give a shout out to her grandmother for being her teacher for 2 years. So that's exciting. Well, it's great to see all the comments and people that you have connections with. And I know that you all have touched lives for many, many years. So like Sallee said too, we hope that we are leaving a legacy like you all have as well. So thank you for all that you have done for many, many years. And we know that you have impacted so many lives. So it's very exciting. All right, the second question, and you kind of answered some of this, and what do you love about teaching and education? Just kind of share, some things why it's kept you in education for this long, because there's, many professions you probably could have gone and left education and gone to, but, what is it that keeps you here, and what is it that keeps you going with education? Mom, you want to share? Colleen, you want to go first?
What I loved about education was being on the same schedule with my children, and what keeps me there. I've done this in Rockwall, Texas area for 39 years now. So for 39 years, I've worked in the public school 3 years, and then all the other schools that I've worked in, they've been private Christian education. And to be able to be with the children, to be with my own children, Dan and I being able to be with our children in their education and in their athletics, it's been a real blessing. And the ability to share education with the children and watch them grow up, because where I teach, I stay a long time. And it's just so great watching them develop and move on, and I am going to be a grand teacher this year. One of the students I had in second grade, I'm going to teach his little girl in kindergarten this year, and her name is
Oh,
Presley. I can't wait.
That's awesome.
oh.
And another blessing was being able to teach my own children. And Peyton, I had her in K4 and K5. I had Kaylee, I had our son Josh, and I always had Jenny because she was always so wonderful. When I would get home, she'd always say, "Mom, can you help me?" And most of the time, she ended up helping me. But it's been just wonderful being with my family. Family's so important to me.
I think that's one thing I've said this about you, Mom, is you impact those lives forever. And I know that like people will graduate and they'll call you and say, "Hey, can you have lunch with me?" You know, you knit them these blankets that you give them at graduation, and it's like they go and they grow and they move away, but then they always come back, and it's like they call their second grade teacher, and I'm like, she'll say, "I'm going to go have lunch with so and so." I'm like, from like 20 years ago, like I mean, it's amazing to me. Like I don't know that I mean, I had many, many great teachers, but I don't know that there were any that I would really call up and have lunch with, that made that impact like you have with so many. So it's just awesome to have watched you over the years and the connections that you've made with your students to that point with even with the families and that is just pretty amazing that they go and they still come back and that you've made such a difference in their lives. So I love that.
Thank you.
I would say that one of the things that you definitely passed on to Jenny as well is relationships and really fostering those relationships because Jenny tells me all the time how you go and you help your families at school, you'll babysit people if you need to, you'll take them swimming, like you're constantly fostering those relationships. And that's something that Jenny does too. She's so good at building relationships with people and puts that first in everything that we do. So I definitely see that in both of you.
Well, thank you.
All right, Mom. What do
Oh,
you
my
love
goodness.
about education?
Oh, I just think that I loved it too, as well. Being with my family, having a career that I could watch both of my girls go through school and also get to know their teachers and just see them grow and relish and enjoy their lives, as well as getting to be a part of it. One of the greatest things I think I really enjoyed was whenever we put um, lessons out there or concepts out there where the children had that opportunity to really get involved in what they were doing and it was hands on and their light bulb just went whoop and you saw them really get it. I think that's where I just got so excited and I just wanted to do more. I think that when you plan a lesson, that it should be a lesson that you're ready that next morning, that when the alarm clock goes off, you're ready to slap that alarm clock, jump out of that bed, and see what's going to happen with that lesson as those children engage and get excited in what they're doing. I think that when you incorporate the technology, oh my goodness, it is going to be so valuable too to those children. Every single day it just seems like that as a teacher you're touching that life for a lifetime and it's not just I'll get emotional because it's something that was very hard to walk away from as a teacher. I didn't think I would do this. um, but as an educator, it's something that is deep rooted in you. It's a part of you. It is something that it just doesn't go away, and you're always striving to find the new avenues that you can make that content just so valuable for children because not every single child learns the same way, and I think it is up to us to find those opportunities to engage them and to give them the opportunity because every child really wants to learn. They want to be successful, and it is up to us to help them be successful and to give them that opportunity. As I became a principal, I didn't ever want to walk away from it, so I held morning assembly every single morning with the children, and we had 500 kids in the gym, and we did Caught You Being Good. It's so important to find the good things in children because it's that one little thing that if you'll compliment, they'll want to jump through hoops for you. And the same thing for our teachers and those that we work with when we compliment them for the great things that they're doing and really relish that. I want to be surrounded with those who want to do better. And they, when they're doing great things, it's only going to make me better and help me to be a better educator too, because I learn from them just as well. So I love teaching. I love learning. I haven't quit. I work for ag workers, which now I get to work with FFA and 4-H and all kinds of people in agriculture. So I'm still connected. It's just in a different way, and I have that opportunity to be creative there.
That's awesome. And I think, again, we have a comment here from Tina that says that Connie is great at building relationships too. And I think, and that's one thing that I know, I see in Sallee as well is, connecting with everyone and building people up and the positivity. I mean, she definitely is one that, never gets down. I mean, I rarely see her, in a bad mood, and she's always seeing the best in people. So I think too and I think it's just amazing how Sallee and I connect so well, and we can see such similarities in our moms, even just hearing these things and how you have, nurtured us and taught us these things that obviously we still are carrying on. So I appreciate you. And I know one thing about you too, is just, you have such a heart of gold, and I just love your giving spirit in all that you do for your family and for others. And it just amazes me that you give and give and give and give. And I just appreciate that so much about you and Sallee.
Thanks.
And I love your love for all learners. Like, that's something that you've always had. Like, you want every student to succeed, every student to learn, every student not just to learn, but be a better person as well. And so that's something you've always pushed after. And I think that's same for Jeni and I too, and also from Colleen, is that we seek after every student being able to have opportunities and choice and the ability to access information. And so that's a passion of ours as well.
Definitely.
All
Well,
right.
that was good stuff, ladies.
All right, so question number 3. We want to know, what advice do you have for educators? Mom, you want to go first?
I can.
All right.
I would just say never stop wanting to learn. Never stop wanting to grow. And don't ever be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and step out of the box. Have outward thinking. Step outside that box. And, there's sometimes a saying that, in the field of education, don't be afraid to excel, and don't be afraid to move forward and have innovations in your classroom that exceed. I think that if we fall into the level of mediocrity, that's where we get, and we get a rut. And that's hard to get out of. And I say, if you will keep going, you keep learning, keep your inspiration going. There are times, yes, it is hard. And there's days that, I would go in my office and I'd think, oh my goodness, I can't do it. And I'd shut that door, and I tell those teachers too, and I have a big hand clapper. And I'd say, you know what, Connie Lott, you're going to put on your big girl panties, and you're going to go out there, and you're going to make a great day for those kids and those teachers. And I would go back out, and I would pat them on the back, and I would take my big hand clapper, and I would find the things that they were doing that were great, and pat them on the back and say, you know what, you're doing a great job. I know today was tough, but you made a difference in a child's life. And when you do that, it's just going to make you fall more in love with what you're doing, and your children are going to jump through hoops, and your students will jump through hoops for you, that you turn around and you look and you think, oh my gosh, the one that I didn't think did it. They did it. And it's all because you found the great things, and it can be the smallest of smallest. But just get enthusiastic, stay enthusiastic. When you keep learning, you're going to keep wanting to do better, and you're going to want more in your education life. So I would just say, just keep your spirit, and don't let anybody ever crush your spirit. Keep going, keep moving, because you are making a difference, and we need you. The children need you.
That's
I
really
love that.
That's good.
We have a couple comments. We have Harrison McCoy. He says, when I interview potential teacher candidates for our educator preparation program, I can tell you how often I hear my mother is a teacher. So
Yes.
I think that is interesting, how many that that you're passing that on, and it's just something that not everyone is born with, but it's just something that I think we learn, and being in that environment, growing up. And I think, Sallee, you said it before, your story was interesting because you weren't going into education, and so
I tried to run as far away as I could.
I think I scared her.
But I can't imagine you. Yeah, what a loss it would be for the education world if you had not come to education, for sure. So, no, and for me too. Like, can you imagine?
For me, I can't imagine working with anyone else.
So, Mom, what advice do you have for educators? That was great, Connie. Thank you.
I believe Connie summed it up pretty well. I think that each child needs to be received for who they are. So many children come in the room, and a lot of times they're not allowed to talk and express how they feel about an idea. But when they're allowed to be themselves and bring what they know to the classroom, and they can share and feel value, then I believe their little mind and heart opens up to receive what you have to teach, so that you're all learning together. And I think Connie really just hit it. It's getting up every day and striving every day to be the best you can be for your children, for the people you work with. And when they see that energy, it's contagious. And, when you come into a classroom and the children are doing different things and being a certain way, they're contributing to what I'm teaching them, but it isn't always exactly the way I want it to be. And after I listen to everybody, it actually becomes better than I thought it could be. That's what education is all about. I'm not a know-it-all, but I know that once I share what I know and they share what they know, it becomes a beautiful environment that continues to grow, just like Connie said. I loved it.
Very true.
Yeah. And, I want to bounce a little bit off of Colleen here. Honestly, and you can walk down the hallway and you can hear noise in the classroom, and I was perfectly okay with that as a principal. In fact, I wanted to hear that because you could tell the difference between noise that is learning noise and noise that's not learning noise. And so, when we teach our children to collaborate and get in those groups and really, start throwing ideas off of one another, it's just like Colleen said, they come up with the best. They're even better than what we are at many times. And then we bounce off of them, and then there's just a great big circle of learning happening each and every day. And you know what? Kids then get up in the morning and they want to come to school. And isn't that what you want? You want them to get up to say, hey, I can't wait to get to school today. And I think that's the beauty of being a teacher and watching them learn. And
wow, I'm glad this is being recorded. Y'all are saying so much wonderful truth that I can't even regurgitate it. It's so good. I just love that you both. You can feel, like I said earlier, your love for kids right here. Like, you really are seeking to see them grow and learn, and you foster a family environment in your classrooms and seeing each student individually for who they are, not, this is our task, let's do it and be done. You're really about people, not necessarily the task. Because it's going to be so much better when we all work together and collaborate and learn together versus individually.
Yeah.
So.
I think the world of worksheets is kind of the past. It has its place, but I think when you get hands-on interactive learning, our children do so much better.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right, question 4. How do you think COVID-19 can benefit education in the future? So is there anything that we've experienced in this time that could actually benefit us? So, Mom, you want to go first? Colleen?
Well, I'm not afraid to be on technology anymore. I've learned so much about being a Google Classroom guru, and I zoom in when least expected to find my kiddos. And one of the experiences that I've had, because the children being 5 years old, they were so used to coming in and having routine and doing what we do in the classroom, being with their friends, that I had 2 or 3 of them, they were not doing well. And I got to videotape myself talking to them, praying with them, and it was so beneficial. The mother said to me, he was so different after he watched your video. And it was comforting to me that I could go ahead and not only share that with him, but when I'm doing that now, I'm not only sharing it with the students, I'm sharing it with the family. So when I did my Bible stories and the child was listening, the whole family was listening. When I'd have a devotion, it wasn't just the child listening, it was the family. I found it wonderful, and I'm ready to learn new things as well.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
awesome. And that's one.
Yes.
Oh,
No,
I was
go
going to say,
ahead.
that's one thing that we feel is so impactful is that when our students actually see us teaching and us and our voice and hear from us. So I'm sure that's what made the difference, Mom, is that they actually got to hear from you like they were used to. So they needed that. So
And it
I'm
really
very proud of you.
Yes, thank you. It made peace in their home, and it gave them peace so that they could learn and do the things that I was asking for them to do.
And I'm
Love
proud of
that.
you. You got on here all by yourself tonight.
Yes, Colleen, and I just came over to Sallee, so I wouldn't have to. So good for you. See, I did not get out of my box. I came to the safe zone.
I'm so excited.
I was so proud. I was like, Mom, do you want to try and get on by yourself? She's like, No, I'll just come to your house. I
Yeah,
was
we're
like,
just a
okay.
block away. I'll just be there. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I wish my mom lived a block away.
I know.
Well, I'm an hour and a half. I'm an hour and 10 minutes.
I know.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're gonna get you over here too to Saginaw. You and
Yeah.
Miss Thompson. One of the things I did love about that too, like this morning, this afternoon, one of my son's teachers called him on Microsoft Teams just to see, like she was receiving all his work and she was so proud of it. So she just called him and said, I'm just so proud of you and I love what you're doing. Do you need any help? I just wanted to check in. That made his day. Like for him to hear from his teacher one-on-one, like I am so glad he has her as an educator. Thank you, Miss Laura. If you're watching, you're amazing.
Aw,
I know.
yay.
Yeah. So it does. It makes a huge impact when teachers are able to talk to not just the student, but their families, because she spoke to me as much as she did to Hunter. So that's huge.
That's great. Real
Yeah,
quick, Peyton said, Mom, better than 14 hours away.
Oh,
Yeah.
There we go. All right, Connie, what do you think?
Well, I'm not in the classroom or in a school right now, but just from the outside looking in and watching television, watching Sallee, watching you, Jeni, watching Hunter, I just think that COVID is going to really have a big change in education for us. I shouldn't say this, but I'm kind of excited, to see kind of what's going to happen now with the STAR and all of those things that Texas teachers are always up against. But one of the greatest things I think it's doing, our Texas teachers are held to a very high standard with the T-tests and their evaluations. Oh, they should blow it out of the water now with technology, that little piece in there that tries to get children to be interactive because they really don't get credit if just the teacher is doing it. But if the kids are using it, boy, are they ever going to land it. So I'm just really excited about that. And I see that people are really being problem solvers more at that Bloom's taxonomy level of being on the evaluation level versus just the sit and get type of education. So I really do think that this is going to become a great big part of the education push now for children. And our teachers, maybe that in the past had a little bit of reluctance or maybe wasn't very comfortable using the technology, they're comfortable using it. It's built relationships, as Sallee said, with their students, which is even more important because without that relationship, education is just really kind of hard to come by. So building, the very first thing when we're in our classrooms anyway, we want to build those relationships with students. And I think that COVID-19 is definitely helping us to do that. There was a principal today that made a stop at every single senior that was graduating this year and went by every single senior's house and congratulated them. And I just thought, wow, I just wished I could be there because I would be out there making those stops. And then today in the neighborhood, I saw yard signs, and I was like, Sallee, I'm going to do something. I'm going to take those seniors. They don't know me. They don't know me from Adam or Eve. But, just a $10 gift card and say, congratulations from your neighbor. These kids have been through a lot. And I take my hat off to them for holding steady with us, holding steady with their teachers, holding steady with their education. We need to be applauding those kids too. Our teachers, yes, definitely. But those kids are out there, and those parents, they're becoming teachers and they're learning lots of things along with their working at home and then juggling their jobs and then juggling the education that they need to be doing for their children. And we have to remember that amongst it all, there's been a loss of life, and unfortunately it happened. And a lot of our kids are facing that, and they've had that in their homes. And we need to, and it can be from COVID, it can be from other illnesses. And we need to remember what they're going through because what that is doing is building their character. It's building teacher character, it's building our family character, it's building us, putting us back together. Sometimes to wake us up and say, hey, this is what life is all about, and there's a lot of more important things. And then also just the kids building the character to have that discipline to get those assignments in online so that they can, show what they know. So I think COVID's going to bring a whole new face of education for the future.
Definitely. I mean, and I know, like, even in our home, we've had to have some serious conversations about just, emotions and, deadlines and, getting it motivated and just different conversations aside from the typical, okay, you need to get motivated. And like you said, they have to set some serious guidelines for themselves and, stay on that schedule or make sure they have that time management on their own, different than how they would when they had it, in a classroom with the teacher and, on them. So very, very different. And here's a comment from our friend. She says that social emotional learning is stronger than ever, the need of the hour. So, and those emotions that we have to really foster. And we had a hard conversation with our kids last night because Chris heard it's a really, really sad situation of a young boy, like 11 or 12, that took his life, and his younger sister found him. And he said, we're going to have to talk to our kids because I don't want something. And I guess the article said COVID took my son's life, but it said not the way you would think. And so he said, we have to talk to our kids because I don't want anything like that. I cannot be held responsible for any emotions or any feelings that they're having that I did not talk to them about, and he, it was, Chloe was crying and, and he said, I knew you'd get emotional because I knew she is that way. But, he said, I can't be holding that burden if I didn't come forward with this information. If you guys are stressed or you're feeling that you're ever depressed, I want you to talk about it, because this is a different time of emotions that we're all having to deal with. And so it's just been interesting, the conversations we've had, even in our own home about all of those things. But I know as a whole, all of our kids' counselors are needed, more so now than ever, and even going forward, because we don't know what the future holds and how we're all going to deal with this. So lots of good, but lots of also unknowns too that we have to consider.
Yeah. It's just very isolating. And I think, like I would say the theme of tonight from Colleen and Connie, would be relationships are key, right? Colleen really fosters that in her classroom and reaching out to her students. And then Connie fostered that in her schools with her students and always taught character education. I think that is really the big piece is, I think after this, definitely we'll realize how important those connections are with our students. Ah, that's right, Christine. Relationships are key is what she says. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you guys. I think that's all the questions that we have for you this evening. So we thank you so much, Colleen and Connie, aka Colleenie. So
the show's coming out soon.
New hashtag, yes, it's official. Do you lovely ladies have any last minute thoughts or words you want to share?
Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun, and I hope everybody is learning and taking away a lot of the wisdom that was shared on your show tonight. Thank you so much.
And just know how much you're appreciated,
Yeah.
and Jenallee, know that you are appreciated more than maybe what you realize. You have so much to give to others, and you're doing that, and you're doing it with a great big heart. And I know Colleen would say the same thing. We love you for what you're doing for children. You shine, and you keep your spirit up, and you keep shining, and keep moving forward, and doing great things for children and teachers, because when you're doing that, then it goes to the classroom. And when we get it into the classroom, guess what? You're touching children, and you're making a difference in those children's lives. So hang in there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we appreciate that. And we appreciate there's some good comments. I know Christine said, I don't know if you saw it, she said we have great chemistry. So that was super sweet. So we appreciate you all being here tonight. And hopefully I know you had to have enjoyed our mothers because they're amazing. So
I know.
we just are
Yeah,
so
I
thankful.
cheated, Colleen. I won't come to Sallee's next time. I'll do it on my own.
No,
You can give her lessons, Colleen.
glad you guys got to be together.
Yeah, it was fun. One of the greatest things I did get to have, I will say this, Sallee was in Aubrey before she came to Fort Worth. And I had the pleasure every single day of getting to go to work with her and walking across the parking lot and holding her hand and us going to work and knowing that she was a librarian, the technology person then. And, it was just the neatest thing. And then Hunter was in kindergarten, and I got to be his principal. And it was that was probably one of the greatest things I ever got to do. Now, I did have to, draw the line between mother, Mimi, and principal, and they knew it. They knew what the line was. We couldn't be that at school. But whenever, it was just a blessing to get to see them and to be a part of their lives in that way. And it's something I cherish.
Yeah, it is.
That's very sweet.
All right. Well, we thank you, everyone, for joining us. And join us on what day, Jenny? Thursday?
Thursday, we're going to have
Yes.
Holly Clark and Lisa Highfield with us, same time, 4:15 Central, and they're going to share about hyperdocs with Word. So we're so excited to learn from them. So if you want to learn more about hyperdocs, join us on Thursday when we're going to have Holly Clark and Lisa Highfield. So we're super
right.
excited.
Okay.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
We want to